Your position here is so important. You need to get back into this train because you don't want to be doing 550 watts out in the wind like this. And he's contesting you. He's contesting you. But man, you're having a good day. Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Glenn, week number 3, your interclub race. I'm so excited to get into it, man. Welcome back.
Thanks, man. I'm excited to talk about it too.
More rain. But before we get into the race, really quick, let's get you guys back up to speed on what happened last week. Glenn smashed it. 3rd overall, 6 seconds behind in the GC competition, but you are wearing the green jersey as the sprint points leader with 27 points over 2nd place in 24. So real close. So you got your work cut out for you, and this is only the 3rd week. Should we dive into some race footage and see how today shakes out?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, Glenn, 3 laps into this race. How's your tire pressure, first of all?
Yeah, I think I lowered it a bit, but it was more or less a bit slippy.
That's a callback to the first video. Glenn didn't have his tire pressure set right, and he was just not cornering perfectly. But I want to talk about this lap because some stuff goes down here. And a lot of this has to do with Glenn's power profile as a racer. He's a lot like me. Why is Glenn letting that wheel go?
Yeah, okay, so I'm a bit more snappy, become a bit more snappy over the winter. So I want to bridge to a breakaway. So I'm letting all these gaps for riders to get the opportunity to get in the breakaway, so I can snap to it with my power profile.
I do this all the time at Alviso. It's the funniest thing. Like, I want to join a breakaway because it's always easier to sprint from a breakaway than it is from big, massive field. But I don't want to initiate a breakaway because I am not that type of rider that enjoys like a long, steady effort. I enjoy it, 15 seconds preferably, but 90 seconds or something like that is in my wheelhouse. So I will let this gap open up just like Glenn's doing now. I love this strategy. And then once there's like a group of, 3-4 riders off the front that's kind of established itself, before they open up a minute's gap or something crazy, you launch across to it, just like Glenn is doing right now, leaving everybody behind you for dead. And then you are joining up to a ready-made breakaway. And that's exactly what you're doing right here, right, Glenn?
Yeah, and you can take a brief breathing pause and then start rotating at the front and try to keep away from the peloton.
It's important that Glenn mentioned that because, yes, you have to immediately get into rotation because a lot of people aren't going to enjoy the fact that there's a sprinter there now in your breakaway. So immediately get up there and prove that, look, I'm willing to work, and Glenn's just going to fall into rotation, and let's see how that works out. So unfortunately, it doesn't work out, but it wasn't all for naught. I mean, this is another rainy day race, and that move that you did some damage, right? I mean, every lap there's some riders falling off the back in these rainy conditions.
So yeah, if you can't make the bike race hard on the front, people are experience it on the back. It's being a hard race, and the more you do damage on the front, the more riders will fall off the back.
And Glenn, at 1,500 watts, man, the power's really coming along nicely, and it's a good thing because this is a sprint point competition, and look at you, man, taking down maximum points. Congrats, Glenn. That's another 5 in the bank, padding your lead in that competition. Let's fast forward a bit and see how the second sprint shakes out. And they didn't make it easy on you, right, Glenn? I mean, on rainy days like this, you have to pay close attention to what's going on because gaps open up so easily, and this lap right here seemed pretty critical, but you were on top of it, and you didn't let anything get away.
No, you have to be in front of the bike race. If you are stuck at the back, especially at those rainy days, a lot of gaps open, and you easily get surprised. And yeah, you are in the Mogolenwaaien, so as we call it in Holland.
What does that translate? What does that translate to?
The Mogolenwaaien is the second group after the breakaway.
Oh, okay, got it. Yeah. You don't want to be in that group.
No.
That's the first loser group.
Exactly.
All right, let's check out, if you have any energy left, let's talk about the second sprint.
Yeah, sure.
All right, Glenn, second intermediate sprint competition, and you're the leader, man. They're looking at you. You're wearing the green jersey, and things are just real goofy right here. They're slow. There's 4 riders wide on the front. And you're going to let this guy on the left just sneak away. Tell us why that is.
Yeah, he isn't a direct threat for my green jersey at this moment. Sure, he's taking his chances, and maybe he will be a threat later in the season, but for now, he's not a threat.
Yeah, good point. And it's good restraint because you have to pick your battles. And chasing a guy who is like way down on the results sheet for the sprint competition is probably not the best idea. So I like this move right here because you still want to, even if that guy wins, you still want to get the 4 points for second. Yeah. So patience. This is great. And let him ride and just sit third wheel here. See if they can just let you, kill time until 200 meters to go. But that's not the case. Here goes Tree Trunks on the right with the red bike. And this one you have to follow, right? This is great.
Yeah, he winds it up. And this is a perfect scenario for me to maybe catch the rider in front. But yeah, to have a good lead out. To make the bike race fast and yeah, sprint to 4 points.
And look at the damage behind. I mean, this is a hard effort, especially on the wet roads. And like you said, this is looking great. Like maybe you can still catch that front rider and get an extra point. But oh, right here he looks back, and this puts you in a bind because you still have several hundred meters to go. But you can't just stop pedaling. You have to continue rolling. And now here, this is your real threat on the left. Who's this?
Yeah, this is the second. This is Yari in the points competition. And he got
so you gave up 1 point to him, which is kind of a bummer. But at least it was just 1 point. That could have been worse. That certainly could have been much better. But yeah, you're still preserving your lead in the overall competition. And let's maybe fast forward to the end and see how the end of this race shakes out. All right, Glenn, we are approaching the final lap, and we're going big brain strategy here in a minute. I want you to talk us through it. You have this rider in the red in front of you. Where is he in the overall GC? Where is he in the overall sprint?
So he's way back in the GC and way back in the sprint jersey. So he's another.
So why chase him? So why chase him back? So I want you guys to pay attention to Glenn's right hand. Squeezing brakes. Well, that's Glenn basically telling everyone behind, hey, if you want to win this race and get the 10 euros for being the winner of the day, because remember, guys, some people just show up to these races and just want to win the day, and they don't care about being club champion. They don't care about the sprint competition. Glenn's saying, hey, if you want to win the day, go chase that back. I'll sit in the wheels, and I will just try to maximize my sprint competition points and try to take that down. So big brain strategy going on here, Glenn. I like that you fall back to really the sweet spot here with 1,500 meters to go.
So yeah, this is perfect. And just waiting to see what happens. You see here the bike, the race is slow. So there's no need to be in front of the racer here right now.
All right, Glenn. So that one rider is never brought back. He's off the front, going for solo glory. But now it's time to start thinking about your position with respect to this field sprint. What's going through your mind right now?
So yeah, the rider here on the right of me, that's Yari. He's a young, talented guy from our squad. And he was, I was giving him a little push over here to see who's boss. And forcing him to go into the grass, and so I can have his position, and just over here I stamp on it. Just go.
Show him who's boss, Glenn. He's also second in the sprint points competition. So for you to nip him at the line right there by just a couple of inches.
Yeah, that was a bike throw. That was great.
That is awesome, man. You get the timing so right on these sprints. Want to compliment you on that, and also. Let's talk about your standings now, because man, you had a great race. You've padded your lead in the sprint points competition by 4 points. Yachty is still your major threat in second place with 40 points. But check this out, guys. We have a new race leader, Glenn, carrying both jerseys. You are tied with Stein. Is that right?
Yeah, Stein.
And Yachty is in third, so you got your work cut out for you. We have a couple of really close competitions going on. I'm really excited to see how future weeks work out. And if you guys want to follow Glenn's Weekly Interclub, I suggest that you subscribe. It's totally free, and we'll catch you guys up in next week's video. So with that said, Glenn, always a pleasure having you on.
Yeah, thanks. See you next week.
See you guys.